Well, the great thing about a historical novel, just from the nuts and bolts aspect, is you know the plot going in, which helps. So for me, Fatty was just about discovering a voice, and once I could lock into that voice, because it was told first person, in the voice of Roscoe Arbuckle, and once you can do that, then it's just about staying true to it and not hearing those alarms go off in your head when you stray into some sort of inauthentic sounding turf. And I love that period as well because it was on Fatty's back that the, you know, Hearst invented the tabloid and the composite photograph, and that stuff didn't exist. And in fact, he was the first. And it's not so much that all the parallels today from, you know, Whitney Houston on, but that you see the genesis of it, that this star literally existed in no way, shape, or form before those guys. It wasn't about the star was created. And once the star was created, the industry of fan magazines could be created on top of it. And once the industry of fan magazines was created, the industry of gossip was created for the purpose of dragging down the star to fuel more money for the fan magazines and the confidential style magazines. And it was just, you know, one continual dog eating its tail. It is interesting to compare a historical novel to a memoir because in one, if you're writing your own memoir, the difference is that there's no public record, except for certain of our finer police stations around the county. But with Arbuckle, obviously other people have written about him, other people have written about the period, so for me it's always going for the visceral. And you know, if I'm going for an authenticity, it's a visceral authenticity. It's the authenticity about what a man who came where he came from and went through what he went through endured. And that is primary to the sort of secondary coloring and all the background stuff that is he's essentially filtering. It's his experience. And for me, that I've always found that novels are a more interesting way to read history than straight up history. And what I wanted to do with Fatty was basically educate myself and immerse myself in that period back when rooming houses had no dogs, no coloreds, no actors posted on the door. I certainly didn't see myself as part of any movement while I was doing it. And if it is a chronicle of any kind of contemporary history, for me it's a chronicle of internal contemporary history. It's the chronicle of how a certain kind of person in a certain kind of world responds and reacts and deals with that world. And therefore it's not, it's both things. It's kind of one of those M.C. Escher cliched reflective mirror things, whereas you describe the person and by default you're describing the world, and when you describe the world, you're describing this person functioning within it. I mean, there are so many great LA, like James Brown's LA stories, phenomenal, just another masterpiece. And you really do learn a lot about LA, and you learn a lot about the indignities of the movie business, etc. And there's really nothing new to say about all that stuff, but there are new ways to react to it, and there are new ways to sort of clarify the, just to clarify the machinations one goes through in reacting to it. You know, it's like studying a toxin. You know, if you view LA as this vast toxin, you inject it into yourself when you enter the movie business or the entertainment industry, and then you follow it the way when you get these radiation tests, you know, when they inject you with a dye, you know, it's like the fucked up guy is injected into Los Angeles and we follow his little red dot around. And that for me is how it works. You know, you can focus on the red dot or you can focus on the surrounding terrain or the body, as it were. of what world that character is being plunged in.